All right, let me bring lawyer back in, because as we're talking about fuel prices and everything else going up, we also have to deal with the issue of unemployment, which is really high in the country. As it stands now, the Ghana Statistical Service has released its latest figures, and 1.9 million young people are disconnected from the economy because they don't have jobs, they are uneducated, and they don't have any training. So it says that out of this 1.9 million youth who are between 15 and 35 years, 1.2 million of them are women, compared to 715,691 of them who are men.
Well, look, Bella, sometimes when I come onto these programs, you don't want to sound like you're just here to lament. You know what I mean? But you see,
you can lament.
Look at every sector.
The situation demands that
in health, on the economy, on just about on education, on everything. You ask yourself, did we go or did we come? You expect a little bit more sensitivity. I genuinely worry about the seeming insensitivity, the lack of concern. I ask a question these days, who is even working to fix the economy? Who is giving an impression that something is happening even to improve on the lot of the citizenry?
The finance minister.
Well, I don't see any signs of it. Look at where we are, even in terms of the foreign exchange rates, for example. Look, that is what is driving everything. God has blessed us with gold, right? With diamond, with
lithium,
oil and gas. Okay? And now we're going into lithium. And if our government still cannot leverage on all of this, Mahama said something a few days ago, and that at this time, we should be pumping this oil like there's no man's business, so that even if for nothing, we can save for the future generations of Ghana. But you see, what has been the trajectory of this government? You've seen the letters extending people's contracts when they have to go home.
Yeah.
You've seen the number of family members. Go to Ghana Gas, a project that currently saves Ghana well over $300 million, because at least we are no longer importing all the LPG that we need. Go and look at the numbers that work there, that are related and have close family relations and working in that environment. You see, look, Bella.
Free zones board, they are just
everywhere, NHIS. Look, I said the Rwandan government came here to understudy our NHIS. When you visit Rwanda, go and check. NHIS is just a little kiosk in every hospital facility. The important thing is to have the card and to have the number, and it works. What do you see here? Go to that building and see the number of vehicles parked there. You see, when we started talking about this level of nepotism, Bella, all the things we are suffering from today take inspiration from the nepotistic nature of the Akufo-Addo administration. So if you are not of them, forget it. If you are not related to them, forget it. If you are not associated with them, forget it. You can't do anything. And the worst part is that dare you criticize them, they will come after you with all the invectives they can possibly think of. Look, the ordinary Ghanaian is suffering. Look at all the benchmarks. Ghana Integrity Initiative has scored government 0 on its effort even attacking corruption. We've seen the Office of Special Prosecutor. It's been rendered useless. We've observed. Well, look, somebody asked me a question recently about the Ministry of Employment and Social Welfare. Tell me, what jobs have you heard that a young person can walk to a portal? Just Google them now and see what jobs are available. You see, the worst thing that can happen to Ghanaian youth is underemployment, to be underpaid, to have a job that doesn't train you, doesn't improve you, doesn't change your life, doesn't invest anything in you. You just wake up in the morning and you are very listless. This is the challenge we have. By the time I became a deputy minister, Bella, I was a director at a government agency. So today, for the people who are graduating, in the next 20 years like me, where will they be? What will be the job experience that they are talking about? But they are well qualified. Look, the schools are full. Every day, young people are getting more qualifications. To what end?
There's a caller who spoke to us this morning. He advised young people that you may be in school, but how about you also learn a trade?
They are doing.
Learn something so that if you don't find a job
Bella,
in the public sector, private sector,
a lot of young girls, those who are out of school are trying. Look, I have a young girl, young girls that I am very close to, Bella. There's one who braids hair even on campus to survive. I've told you the cost of accommodation on the university campuses, the cost of transportation, the cost of corruption to the entire citizenry is another thing we don't think about. Today, we still pay a COVID levy. What is that levy being used for? Today, we are still paying levies even on recoveries. What are those levies being used for?
Sanitation.
How are they being applied? The sanitation tax is still being collected. Have you seen the way sanitation has deteriorated across the country? You've heard about the dengue fever.
Yeah.
Where do you think it's coming from? You know, look, they tried to politicize everything and literally acted as if other governments simply did absolutely nothing. Even recently, we've had a young man, someone who should be humble on the occasion of being made a running mate, even talking down about the legacy of Osajefo Dr. Kwame Nkrumah. These are
He has
people,
apologized.
Don't worry, I mean, too little, too late. You know, naturally, this is the thinking. They have a sense of superiority. Let's lord it over everybody. Don't think about what they say. Just tell them what you think they want to hear.
He said he didn't mean to disrespect any of the former presidents.
Look, Bella, you were here with me prior to 2016. Go back and take all the conversations. This is a government has absolutely no respect for the citizen. They don't care about your feelings. They don't care about your criticisms. Absolutely nothing. Look, I keep telling people that, you know, there's one thing that we must also remember as we go out there to elect our leaders. Elect leaders who show compassion.
Okay.
Leaders who show empathy. Why? The president's daughters are all working. They've built huge businesses. Do you think that all those young people, if they had such opportunities, you think they'll be out there struggling for skills and jobs?
No.
Bella, young people are trying. They are braiding hair. Look at the number of them you see. They are doing wigs. You know what it takes to put your wigs together?
It's not easy.
To put these things on for us to wear, it's a lot of work.
Yeah, to
they
make
are doing,
clothes.
look, they are making, think about it. You know, these is I tell people, even for my black work gear, I love to get young people, make them for me, because at least you are helping them to survive. When everything is being imported from China, the school uniforms, curtains for offices. Tell me, how has this government tried, you understand, to leverage on the talent we have, on the skill set, to focus? When young people went to the youth employment, if you remember, they were injured. There was a stampede to get jobs. You see, let's ask ourselves, if all of us were not given the opportunities that we have, where will we be today, Bella?
Nanaya, so first of all, John Mensah says he's admiring his mother, Nanaya. She's beautiful and she's making sound submissions. But Mensah Magritte says that if you ask right now, he says, I'm speaking from Bichim, Toronto. Is there a Bichim in Toronto? Like Bichim Street or something. Anyway, it says that MPP communicators will tell you that they've created more jobs in the history of this country, yet unemployment is still ballooning. Instead of them thinking about this, they're thinking about LI to exempt MPs from road traffic. It is so sad. Indeed, my mind has changed and I'll vote. Okay, you are telling us who you vote for. Ajiba, thank you for your message. Or is it Abija? Okay, Mensah John is still admiring you, Nanaya. I'm not sure what's going on this morning. He's been sending a lot of messages. Another Emmanuel who says he's admiring you. But on a more serious note, it's like a broken record. We've been talking, I'm sure you remember that we already even talked about unemployment rates in this country at the beginning of the year. It was at 1.2 million, at a point 1.7 million, and we're back again talking about it. And over time, the question is, what has government done? So GSS puts out the statistics, and we don't seem to see what government is doing to reduce the rates of unemployment. But then when they come, they'll tell you they've created jobs.
Bella, thank you very much. Before I move on, let me say happy birthday to my friend, Mrs. Juliana Mwako of the Labour Commission in Takrady. Julie, happy birthday and may God bless you. Bella, 1.9 million. You see, the most excruciating and painful parts of this issue is the fact that they are not trained, they are not educated. 1.9 million, of which 1.2 million are women. But this government always touts themselves with free SHS. It touts themselves with TVETs. And we have 1.9 million young Ghanaians who are not trained. They don't have the hope of doing anything. We have NYEP, National Youth Entrepreneurial Program. we have a youth office, a youth ministry, youth and sports, and every time they are more interested in the sports side and the youth side is out. I want to recommend that, in spite of what we are saying about ministries and so many of them, there should be a youth ministry.
Separate from sports.
Yes, whoever comes to power in 2024, there should be a youth ministry.
Why do you want to separate the two?
Yes, because there's a concentration on sports where they think about that is where the cash cow is. When it comes to the youth, you need to create interventions to make them okay, so they are not interested. A lot is not going on in there. It is very serious. What are these people doing? If you are not careful and they fall into bad hands, then we are going to create some national security issue. And if the Statistical Service is the one that has this information, what is the government doing about it? Even creating the enabling environment for the private. I am a CPP person. I am a socialist. I am an Nkrumahist. I don't believe in the private sector taking over. Now, if that is what you believe in as your government, why don't you create an enabling environment for us to get people to create jobs? Why don't you find a way to target these people? That is why we're saying that the free SHS is not targeted. Because if it was targeted, it's possible that people in this category will be caught so that they are able to go to school. This is an indictment on the free SHS that the government is using to always adulate themselves. 1.9 million Ghanaians are not educated, don't have any skill. And that is a lot. Because if you say that we have, this is between 15 and 35 years. So I don't know if we say we have an adult population of, let's say, 20 million. We are saying that about 10% of these people have nothing to do. And you tell me that it is great. You tell me that as a government it is right and we should not talk about it. Bella, you see, as we talk about electricity and everything, there's LPG, which has got coal. People are going back to coal. A bag of coal is charcoal is 200. Thank you, Auntie. 200 Ghana cedis. Because they cannot buy LPG anymore. The 14 kg, if you have a large family, will not last for a month. It's going for 250 Ghana cedis.
But we're also campaigning against environmental pollution.
But that is what I am saying, that this government, you are planting trees. Meanwhile, people are going to cut down these trees because they cannot afford clean energy. Do you understand? So it's as if, you see, for me, it's as if they just came to power to fulfill some kind of statement that my father did it. I've also been able to do it. That is why you see their children everywhere. That's why you see the nepotism going on. You see the proportion of this, their relatives being everywhere. Bella, I always tell you that for me, I don't have much of a problem if there are one or two people, your family in the government, because when it comes to political activities, about ideology. I'm in TPP, my brother Kwame is there, my father was there, my uncle was there. You get me? So if it's on merit, my auntie here, it's fine. Do you get me? But you can't just fill spaces with your people when 1.9 million Ghanaians, they don't have skills. But like, see, when you pick an Uber, when you pick Bolt, the people who drive it, when you speak to them, most of them are underemployed because they are graduates. I think the time has come for this government to sit up. It's left with 5 months. They should redeem themselves.
All right. Adjoda, I'll let you touch on this as well, because again, one aspect that we're missing is the fact that a greater number of these unemployed or untrained people are women. Yes. We're all women on this table. We understand what it means to even be a woman, all the needs that you have. So being unemployed, not being able to afford all those things, that also leads you into some social vices. And we're the same ones who castigate these young women.
HIV/AIDS.
Exactly, who castigate these young women for involving themselves in all kinds of vices. and yet nothing is being done.
Oh, we've built a hostel for Kayaye. We give them training, 3 weeks, 3 months in hairdressing, hairdressing and the likes. For us, Alliance for Revolutionary Change, we have identified that problem, and we have decided that it's time for us to really do something and not just continuously talk about it. So we feel that we need to have youth centers, and these youth centers will catch this group of unemployed females, not just females, but the youth.
Yeah.
Give them training, give them startup capitals, so that they can at least work for themselves. We have looked at mentorship, we've looked at counseling, we've looked at mentorship from retirees, semi-retirees who have the experience and can educate and mentor these young ones, even without education, to be able to do things for themselves. We are very passionate about entrepreneurship, because when you come to entrepreneurship, let's face it, some of the people who are sewing these beautiful clothes did not really have any proper education, but they produce very nice things. So we should be able to get something that can push them, some form of funding, some form of a center that they can go to for supports. And this we have thought of. We have got all these things in our great transformational plan. The other side of it is that you have to look at the situation where women who are breadwinners in families do not even have access to jobs, they do not have access to land, even for agricultural purposes, which is the major one that we do. So when we look at all these things, you come to the fact that there is a need for a concerted effort to get these people back to work. Or even back to school for those who, because it's not that they are completely illiterate. If you go out there and you meet young women, some have done some form of education that can be helped to do other things. And that is how come we're looking at some digital work for those who can go back to school and upgrade themselves.
So what do you, and finally, because I have to wrap up unfortunately, but what do you make of Nanaya's suggestion that then we should separate youth from sports as a ministry?
No, we don't think that separating it will make anything, but we believe that sports should be giving an opportunity to grow. We should be able to have good sporting facilities, you know, for competitive sports. These days, everybody knows that football, athletics, it pays. So get the youth to be involved, even bringing it back to schools and getting them to get it right.
All right, George Yeboah, time is up, unfortunately. We have to go.
Focus on youth, actually. It's also
It's a good thing. George Yeboah says that all these problems are due to Russia, COVID, Ukraine war. Okay. Their days are numbered. Good morning to you, Akura, Mr. Kojo Chumbo. He says that the unemployment rates are simply not accurate. The statistics don't bear out the reality. Okay. Good morning to Aisha. It's been a while. Aisha from Tamale. Hajia Aisha, Maka Hajia Aisha, good morning to you as well. And it's good to know that you are back. Thank you for watching. I've been speaking to Nanaya Chimpim Jantwa, and she is a former General Secretary for the CPP. Also, George Ba Muktari Esquire is a special aide to former President John Dramani Mahama. And Madame Rodelyn Imoru Ayana is a member for the Alliance for Revolutionary Change. Thank you all so much for joining us this morning. We're asking you to step into the world of Dewa 539 for your chance to win big with Dewa Directs and Dewa Chop Money. With Dewa Directs, dial *446#, pick 1 to 39 and win 20 times, 40 times or 400 times your stake. And you win cash every evening at 7 p.m. and on Sundays at 6 p.m. Early birds love Dewa Chop Money. So at 10 a.m., dial *446#, choose 1 to 39 and win 20 times, 40 times or 400 times. Play at dewa-nla.com or dial *446#. If you need help, call these numbers 055-6259-249 or 053-2479-879. Dewa Afa. Remember to play cash out as well, *439#. Select option 2. We're giving 1,000 Ghana cedis to 3 of our viewers today. If you're a Telecel subscriber and MTN subscriber, grab your phones now and dial *439#. Follow the prompts. We'll be back with more. We have quite a packed show. Papa Ro will also be coming to you from the Dom Kwabenya constituency. So don't go anywhere. We'll be back.